Hello and welcome to this overnight taste challenge. Not dawn yet, so I can't call it Dawn Busters. It's a cold morning. It's cool in this room. Heater's on, but it's not running at the moment. Okay, anyway, it was too hot, so I turned it down. Anyhow, I have two rye whiskeys. This is George Dickel Rye. Now, I know George Dickel's from Tennessee, but this is actually Indiana rye whiskey. George Dickel established in 1870. This is Indiana rye whiskey produced by MGP in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. And it is made for the Dickel Company, and it might be bottled. It might be bottled in Tennessee, but it's sent down there to bottle it. See if it'll focus. It's charcoal mellowed and chill filtered. Now, George Dickel, they tout chill filtering. They say they're the ones who developed that strategy or technique. So they're not going to talk bad about it since they're the pioneers. And other people say chill filtering's bad, so that's kind of a little bit of a controversy. Man, if I would focus, I'd be some excited. Let's see what it'll do. I could not believe it, but I found this bottle at Walmart. They had this one and the George Dickel, the yellow label, the Superior, Old Superior, I think it's called number 12 recipe. Yeah, it's just not going to focus. I don't know what the problem is. There's a write-up on this side about, oh, there it goes. George Dickel, who pioneered the company, about the rye whiskey, 95% rye, 5% malted barley. So it says right there, chill filtered, mellow as moonlight. Got the famous embossed George Dickel clear bottle. So at Walmart for $12.50. I know that's not the regular price, so I didn't hesitate to buy it. Rubber stopper, neoprene, synthetic rubber. Okay, from DuPont. All right. Now it says it's produced in Indiana. Now it does not say straight rye, which is interesting, isn't it? Doesn't claim to be straight rye. We hope you'll enjoy it too. It says it is a write-up. Distilled in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Bottled by George Dickel and Company, Norwalk, Connecticut. I think that's office up there for Diageo. I don't think they do any production there or bottling. Could be wrong, but I don't think they do. Here's Beam Rye, introduced in 2024 to replace the previous produced Beam Rye pre-prohibition style, which was quietly discontinued, and then replaced by this one, which was quietly placed on the shelves. I got the white cap. It's also produced with the green cap, as the website will show in a moment. This is Kentucky Straight Rye. Now, these are both aged at least 4 years because neither one has an age statement. And classic American spirit, the perfect choice for the art of the cocktail, they claim. Distilled and bottled by James B. Beam Distilling Company, Claremont in Frankfort, Kentucky, USA. Okay, well, it's under their limited and more section. So it's not sold everywhere like Jim Beam. Now, you go to any liquor store in America, you're going to see, Jim Beam Rye. I mean, Jim Beam Bourbon, sorry. But the rye, I've never seen it in this town under any format. I never saw the original 1938 to 2015 Jim Beam Rye. I never saw the Jim Beam pre-prohibition style from 2017 to 2024, and I've never seen this one in this town. So it's a limited availability. Now, if you live in a city like Omaha, Nebraska, Salt Lake City, or Nashville, Tennessee, or New Orleans, Louisiana, yeah, I mean, you're going to find it at your liquor stores, some of them, because you're in a bigger area. And I guess if you live in Kentucky, most people are going to sell it, but around here, no. Let's look at the website. Websites, plural. So George Dickel, I guess that's rye plants in the background. We got a new updated label. Mine's a little different, but same general. But mine's just an older label, but a little more modern look there. One of the only ryes finished in the chilled charcoal mellowed style. 45% alcohol. 90 proof. %95 rye, 5% malted barley. This is nearly 100% rye grain, but they use 5% malted barley, I guess. Well, I don't want to guess. It's obviously a reason. Won an award, but they're not showing any awards for the last 6 years. Okay. Yeah, you can find it around. Like I said, I found it in this town at Walmart. Okay, so yeah, $12.50. Madness. Madness. Let's see what Total Wine and More's got it going for. 20, 25, 20, I would say, let's say $24.99, I'm gonna guess. Not an expensive rye, but ain't cheapo. And it's not spelled with an E, so they got it wrong there. It's WHISKY. Georgia Dickel. I was off by $1. It's $25.99. Okay. Then there's a George Dickel times Leopold Brothers collaboration blended rye for $99.99. Yeah, I probably won't be buying that one. Okay, there it is on the shelf in stock. Then we hit rye whiskey. I got some really expensive ones, huh? $124. Let's go to this price to highest. Well, those are little sample bottles. That's not going to help us. All right, let's go down to start at 750 milliliters. Rebel, formerly Rebel Yell, 100% straight rye, $16.99. Not a bad price. I've never had it. Woodford Reserve, that's $3.75. Okay, Sazerac 6-year rye. Not officially 6 years. They're claiming 6, but they don't. The company doesn't claim that. Although they'll tell you all unofficially, yeah, it's about 6. $19.99. I see people saying they paid $50 for this. Sazerac rye is common in Indiana, and it's never over $20. And if it is, you're getting ripped off. Brookside Straight Rye. Don't know anything about it. Probably be curious to try it. Old Overhaul. Now, why would you pay $19.99 for Old Overhaul when you could pay $1 more and get a liter? You know, you're paying $1 more, but you're getting 25% more. So that would be the best choice. First Call Kentucky Straight Rye. Never heard of it. Might be another private label. Bullet 22. That's always pretty cheap. Redemption Rye on sale for $20.99. I've had Redemption High Rye Bourbon. It was bland, but and that's not a private label. It says Spirit, but that's not a private label because Redemption is in everybody's stores. Rittenhouse, see that around. Do see it around. Thinking Forester, like to get into that one. So the price just keeps climbing, you see. And there you go. All right. Not bad, not bad. Now, Jim Beam Rye. Hey, they didn't list Jim Beam Rye. What's the story on that? Let's go back to this for a minute. That got me a little bit nervous. Did they get rid of it, or did it sell out? That's very strange. Yeah, they have it. I don't know why it didn't show up on the rye listing. That's very weird. $13.49. That's the deal, people. Now, here's Jim Beam Rye, bold taste, spicy flavor, classic. Our old school Jim Beam Rye recipe. Now, they're alluding to the fact that it could be the old recipe, but they're just old school, like an old time recipe. So, back the old recipe, probably. Can I prove it? No. Then they're showing C. But if you slide it over to the animated, it's a white cap. So apparently both types, both colors are used. And it's part of their limited series. It says right there, limited and more. Well, well, well. Huh. Strange. Okay. Oh no, don't touch that wire. That's where we had the problem today. Remember when you bit through the wire and I had to repair it and I don't think it's going to hold. I have to wrap it a little better. Get back. You're the cause of this problem. You're like definitely the cause of the problem. This animal got up there and bit through the wire. So I had to get the pocket knife and slice it back and splice it together and take it back. That was not good. My daughter said she didn't get shocked. Or my sister said she didn't get, one of them said that she didn't get shocked. I said, I guess she might have, but she didn't seem to care. Okay. I was kind of hoping she'd go to sleep by now, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Still after the wire, right? You have toys on that floor. Go play with them. Go. Give her toys. She wants to play with socks, pens, pencils. Bit a hole through my sock. Now that's ruined. The sock was new. Okay. Like I told her, I should have left you at the car wash. Let somebody else deal with the torment. Now you can sit up there if you want. Just stay away from you know what. All right. I ought to get it where it will shock her and maybe she'll stay away from it. Why don't you go up there? She's going to knock that bottle off. So the Dickel is a little darker, but I think if I stay away from looking down at it, I'll be all right. I think at 90 proof, I should be able to tell it apart. 45% alcohol from 40. Now, my question was, why is George Dickel not listed as straight rye? And I noticed their whiskeys are not listed, at least the ones I've seen. Maybe the bourbon is that new one. They're not listed as straight whiskey. They just say number 12 recipe whiskey, number 8, 12 recipe, Tennessee whiskey, Tennessee. Well, I started doing some research. Come to find out, you are allowed to add flavoring and coloring, both of those, to rye whiskey or blended whiskey, if you choose to. And you don't have to put it on the label. It can just pass undisclosed. So this is my thinking, that they're adding flavoring and or color into it, and it can't be listed as straight rye. Makes sense, doesn't it? And you can't say to me, well, they don't have it on the label. Don't have to put it. You can add color and flavor into rum. You don't have to put that on the label. This one has more of a generalized grain aroma. Not really rye, but like rye, maybe rye and corn. And there's really not much difference over here, honestly. I got tags below. So the tags will, when I've checked, the tags will tell me if I got it right. And I've gotten it right some of the time on this and got it wrong some of the time. Because these ryes are very similar, especially the Jim Beam family, like the Old Overholt and the Jim Beam. They're very similar one to another, so it's confusing. Get a little bit more light here with the other lamp. Now, the other lamp would work. It's just not as bright. You know, I got double light here with this other one. All right, so aroma is a washout. Taste time. Oh, and somebody asked me on alcohol eggs. That's my Facebook group. Anybody's welcome to join. A lot of good people there, being very, nice, mild, mellow. They asked me, they said, a lady asked me, I think it was a lady, she said, well, what is the difference between rye and bourbon? I said, well, it's easy. Bourbon has to be at least 51% corn, and rye has to be at least 51% rye. Otherwise, there's no difference. It's just one has a predominant grain. And so you could flip it, right? You could make two whiskeys. One could be the exact aging, exact proof, same proof, aging, barrel, treatment, everything. But you could just tweak it, where this one is 51% rye and the other one that you did together is 51% bourbon. And so it'd be two different classes, but they'll be practically the same product, except for that little slight percentage difference on the grain. And you might save yourself some money, right? Since you got both of them being produced concurrently. Because you're going to do you could do the, like the corn whiskey separately, you distill it and age it and everything separately. Do the rye whiskey separately, say 100% rye whiskey separately. So then you blend them that way, you see. You just concoct it a little different. All right, this tastes, average, normal, typical rye. Nothing unusual here. Now over here, same, get that sugar sweetness, a little rye spice, menthol. Otherwise, honestly, the only thing I'm noticing, maybe this one's a little stronger. But I got tricked yesterday. When I did Woodford Reserve. I couldn't tell it apart from Jim Beam, which I couldn't understand that. Maybe I was tired because I had worked over 8 hours. And now I'm making excuses, right? It's not really an excuse, just trying to figure out how I could get that wrong, And I wasn't rushing through it or I was being a little overconfident though, because I was like, if you watch the video, there's no way this is Jim Beam Rye. And I looked at the label, I was like, whoops, got fooled. I could say the cat was distracting me, which was true. The kitten. Stop clawing the leather chair. I got to get rid of the chair. It's falling apart. I'm going to keep it as long as I can, but she's helping bring it along to its depth. That seems like 80 proof. All right. This one seems more like 90. Don't even think about it. You did your damage. So I'm going to say this is the Dickel, because it seems a little stronger. But otherwise, the taste isn't much different. Now, usually George Dickel has a weird Flintstone vitamin flavor, and I did not copy that from somebody. I'm telling you right now, I did not copy from anybody. When I was tasting that George Dickel's number 12 blend, I kept thinking, man, it tastes like something weird. I can't pinpoint, but then one day it hit me. I was like, Flintstone vitamins. We used to take those when we were little. It had this distinctive flavor, this mineral, weird flavor. And I was like, I wonder if anybody else picked up on that, like if they ever noticed that. I started reading written reviews. There's like 5 different people. Yeah, what's this weird Flintstone vitamin flavor? I was like, got it. I said, but of course, people are going to say I copied. They're going to think I read the reviews and I was just saying that. But I'm telling you the truth. I never read the reviews till after I did my review. You want to go out? I'm going to let her out. She's going to want to come back in 2 minutes. You'll see. Okay, well, I'm shutting this down. I'm going to tell them apart now, hopefully. I'm going to say this is the Jim Beam because it seems milder, or if you want to say weaker, because it is weaker, 80 proof versus 90, and probably much lower rye percentage. I doubt it's 95% rye, because if it was, they'd be bragging on that or promoting it. I got it right. Ooh, sweating that out a little bit. Do I have any more Indiana ryes on an Indiana night? Yes. I had Bullet Rye, which is almost identical to the George Dickel, I think. It's made by the same people. It's made for Bullet Company. Isn't they also good English? Aren't they also owned by Diageo? Doesn't Diageo own Bullet? Didn't they buy Bullet and Dickel? Diageo is one of those companies like Sazerac. They go around buying everybody out. Let's see, Bar Academy. Diageo Bar Academy. This is you can actually pay for it and get a certificate on being like a bartender. It's sort of like online school. It's recognized. Although, here we go, American whiskey. You got to pay for it. But they have a free part you can look at. I knew you want to come back in. It's a joke. The whole thing's a joke. But yeah, they try to entice you to join it. But I don't care about bartending. I'm not a bartender, and I don't care about making cocktails, although this would be very good if you were interested in that. They go all about how they make whiskey. Native spirits, spirit thrives. How's it made? Grains, fermentation. First they make a beer, no hops. It's just a base. And then distill it, and then they mature it. And then what's the main types? Bourbon, rye, Tennessee, which is a type of bourbon, no matter what anybody says. Straight whiskeys, age statement, bottle and bond. All whiskeys aged for less than 4 years will need to include an age statement on this label. These have no age statement, so we know they're at least 4 years. Boulevardier, Bullet Old Fashioned, Crown and Ginger. I don't see any brands. Let's see. Dickel. No, nothing came up. Okay, they do like focus on some brands. Like if you go to Scotch whiskey, they got sections on different products. Like there's a video there. It's a very good video to watch, by the way, about how they blend Scotch whiskey. Some people dog blended Scotch, like blended Scotch is no good. It's no good. I would never drink that. It's just thrown together. Yeah, watch the video and then learn, and then you might really not know what you think. You might not know as much as you think you know. So that, like, there's a section on White Horse, the heritage, interesting facts. There's a video, but it just shows them blending. It shows them making cocktails. There's no audio on it. Copper Dog, never heard of it. Johnny Walker, who hasn't heard of that? But yeah, I would watch this video here. And then you're going to find out that, no, Oh, wait, I'm not doing the screen share. Sorry, let me do the screen share. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Sorry about that. I'm telling you what I'm looking. You better get away from that wire. I'm telling you. I need a little whip. Can you whip a cat? They show how is Scotch whiskey. There's a video there about what Scotch whiskey is. Obviously, whiskey made in Scotland. That's a 7-minute video almost, so got to be interested in learning. No. How is Scotch whiskey made? They show the malted barley, malting, mashing, fermentation, distillation. Look at that beautiful distillery, huh? Maturation. What role do casks play? A lot of big role. Ex-bourbon, ex-sherry, refill, refurbished. What is blending? And there's a whole video there about blending. I might rewatch that. It's so interesting. Types of Scotch, single malt, single grain, blended malt, blended grain. Key serves, Scotch and ginger, Scotch screwdriver. 6 key facts about Scotch. Very good. And this is the free part. Now, when you pay, when you join and pay and go through the tutorial and everything, oh yeah, you're going to get a lot more information. 15 years for Louisiana beer reviews and sometimes liquor and wine. One of the other beer reviewers said I was no longer considered part of BeerTube. I said, why am I not part of BeerTube? Because I had like the 3rd most views in the world. And he was like, well, or the English speaking world, excuse me. He said, well, because you do a lot of, you do too many whiskey and wine reviews. I was like, well, who made that rule? Oh, he made the rule. Arbitrarily said you don't count because you do too many non-beer reviews. Like that's I thought that was very weird. Anyway, I didn't argue with him. I was like, okay. Even though I've been doing beer reviews for 15 years, I don't count because I do too many non-beer reviews. It's kind of like the Beer Association. They got their arbitrary standards. You can be a craft beer company, but you can't make too much beer. In other words, it's not the product you make, it's the amount. And then they changed the amount because Yuengling wanted to be part of the Brewers Association and be considered a craft beer. And they were like, well, okay. Yeah, you can make, instead of, you're not allowed to make more than this much beer a year. Well, we'll change it. You can make this much beer per year, and you're a craft brewer. Okay, so now Yuengling's a craft beer company. But before that, they were a regional mass production company. That's what I mean by arbitrary standards. It's not a true standard. It's just a standard that we made up. Okay. Now, if you look at the Tax and Trade Bureau, U.S. government standards, those are actually true standards. Like they have legitimate regulatory standards that are not or don't appear to be arbitrary. Okay, anyway, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's strange. But anyway, anyhow, do I like one better than the other here? Honestly, I don't. And I try to be honest, and I am honest in these reviews. I don't see any point of being disingenuous. I think Beam Rye, famous distilling company. George Dickel Rye, another famous distilling company, both back to the 1800s. Well, Beam claimed back, well, actually, Beam goes back to 1795. Wow, nonsense. You're number one beer reviewer. Well, in your opinion, I'm not the number one beer reviewer in numbers, but just number one in your hearts. Good show, really great thinking. Thanks. Park Ranger Millionaire. You're welcome. I think these are very similar in flavor. No shock there. All right. Okay. I'll give up. I guess the Dickel does have a little bit more predominant. It has a little bit more rye flavor, a little bit more character, but not. I really don't think it's $13 better. But in my case, I didn't pay but $12.50. I actually paid more for the Beam Rye, $13.49. I paid full price than this at Walmart. But hey, if Walmart wants to sell something for cheap, I'm gonna buy it. They had Cristalino tequila. from Hornitos. That's a $38 bottle. They had it for 10. I told this lady at work, I said, they got a bottle of Cristalino. It's $38 at most websites, and they got it for 10. Don't know why. I don't know if Walmart knew why. Just a computer said, sell it for 10. I said, are they getting rid of it? Who knows? Who cares? Well, I bought a bottle. She said, I'm going to buy a bottle right after work. So it'll probably all be gone. But she went over there after work after 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Guess what? There was one bottle left. She looked at the shelf was empty. There was one bottle pushed way to the back and people didn't see it. So she bought it. She said, it might take me 10 years to open it because I got so much tequila at my house. She said, but I wasn't passing that up. I said, who would, you know? Then I go back to Walmart a month later. I mean, I go there all the time, but I was there a month later looking, and they had a whole full shelf of it. Cristalino Hornitos. The whole shelf was full, $38. So what was the point of selling it for 10? Like I said, it's such a big company. They may not even know. Like, why did you sell this for 10? We don't know. Why did they sell Old Charter for $8? $8. A bottle of Old Charter, $8. Normally, it's really not a lot. 18 or whatever. I was like, oh, they must be getting rid of it. You go to Walmart this morning, got a shelf full of Old Charter. So you can't say, well, they're getting rid of it. It's like they might be getting rid of it. But they might just have a pricing system that's illogical. But I'm going to take advantage of it. What the heck? I never see those kind of deals in beer, though. I never see beers marked down some crazy price, though. Never, 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 never wine either. It's always liquor. You go to Walmart, it's always liquor. It'd be like half price. And that's I was just there last week and they had a rye whiskey from Indiana and a wheat whiskey. This is a weird one. You don't see this too much, but it was a wheat whiskey. Indiana straight wheat whiskey. Strange, huh? But regular price $30. They got them for $15. Not even a closeout price. Just they decided to sell it for $15. So those guys over there, man, they crack me up with their craziness, but I don't care. Good morning, Louisiana Liquor Reviews. Picked up a bottle of Evan Williams eggnog. What's your opinion of it? Says Tommy Carroll. My opinion is that I love it. It's one of the best prepackaged eggnogs on the market. You know, blended whiskey blended in. Oh, that thing is dynamite. It's thick. You see, it's thick. It's not thin like some of these. They're so thin. But it's not pure bourbon. If you look at the label, I think they have blended whiskey, straight bourbon, rum, and brandy. It's probably all a bunch of Heaven Hill stuff that didn't quite come out just right, and they didn't want to bottle it and sell it, so they just blended it in with the eggnog, and you probably couldn't tell then. You see, you wouldn't really be able to pick out the faults because they make a lot of blended whiskey, they make a lot of straight bourbon, they make a lot of rum, they make a lot of brandy, and it could just be, you know, like we would call it like the junk. But then when you blend it in with the eggnog and the spices, then it's not junk. And then there's a peppermint version where they add the crumbled up peppermint candies. That's like literally what they do. They take like Starlight mints and pulverize them and add it. It makes it taste good. Hey, it was better than wasting it. I don't mind. Doesn't insult me, especially since it's a number one of the top. And look at the videos. You'll see people always bragging on that stuff. One of the top things. But I don't buy them anymore, really, because I found out that when I add my own liquor to the eggnogs, it tastes just as good. No joke. I bought Klein Peter eggnog. Did that this morning with rum. I bought Prairie Farms eggnog. I bought Plains Dairy eggnog. I bought Southern Comfort eggnog original. Hadn't opened it yet. I bought Southern Comfort eggnog vanilla spiced. Started adding a little bit of liquor to it. I didn't do a blend, you know, blended whiskey. Like I said, I'm not trying to get rid of stuff in that sense. So I did add the rum, poured a black coffee on top. Perfect. And no different than the prepackaged. And it's so much cheaper, you know, so much cheaper. In these grocery stores, when the eggnog starts getting short dated, like it's going to go off in 3 days, they'll sell it for like 80% off. Get like a $6 carton of eggnog for 99 cents or $1.49. But it doesn't really go bad. Like I got some eggnog that's from November 16th. Said drink by November 16th. Best Buy. Still good. Might be a little sour. Maybe that's why I threw up this morning. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't throw up. I'm just throwing it in as a joke. No, it's good. Good morning, Ron, and everyone. Good morning to you, Shaggy. All right. Well, cheers to the tasting. I am a total enthusiast for both of these products, but Jim Beam is a better value because it's $13 cheaper. But honestly, $12 cheaper, $12.50 cheaper. But honestly, either way you go, you win. Either way you go, you win. All right, so thank you. And then tomorrow, which is what, Wednesday, I plan to bring in another Indiana rye, the Bolete. And then I got another Indiana rye for Thursday, Templeton. They in Iowa company, but their rye comes from Indiana, though. That's the truth. All right, anyway, y'all take care. I know the video was long, but it was interesting, and a lot of viewers were making a lot of good points, and they were making interesting, conversation. So I enjoy it. All right, y'all take care. Bye-bye, everybody.